You, Mr. Dixon?
No, sir.
He's been brought to the long hallway for an ankle monitor strap.
Okay, you're Mr. Gandaria, correct?
Yes, sir.
All right. Is Mr. Beaver on the line?
Your Honor, who are we starting with? I'm sorry, I thought we were doing Judge Kim's first.
No, turns out we're not, but Mr. Gandaria is already in the chair, so we're going to start with him.
Okay, let me see if we have a parent.
Mr. Gandaria, my name is Judge Porter. We talked a little bit this morning. This is a detention hearing to determine if you should remain in detention or be released to a parent or guardian. You have the right to remain silent and not say anything at all. If there's something you want to say, please don't shout it out. Move your hand like this. I'll create a private internet chat room for you and your attorney to talk about what you want to say. That way he can advise you on whether or not you really should say it. All right, Mr. Gandaria, you have a hearing in front of me scheduled at 1:30, correct?
Yes, sir.
All right. Based on that, based on the fact that I'm going to see you again in less than 2 hours, I'm going to order you to be detained for right now. That will be subject to change 2 hours from now, okay?
Yes, sir.
All right, see you in 2 hours.
Yes, sir.
Are you Mr. Dixon?
Hey, Judge Porter. So Dixon was called to the court hallway to be strapped with an ankle monitor. They called us to have him brought over there. He's over there getting strapped right now.
Okay, is he being released? Has somebody already done his detention hearing?
See, that's what his probation officer called for him to be brought over there. So the supervisor brought him over there. That's where they're at now. I don't know what happened though.
Judge, it's Stephanie. He's been released.
Okay. Okay. Mr. Pocasangre Reyes has already been done today.
This is Reed.
And you're Mr. Reed, correct?
Yes, sir.
All right, Mr. Reed, you got to talk up a little louder for me, okay?
Yes, sir.
There we go. All right, Mr. Reed, this is a detention hearing to determine if you should remain in custody or be released to a parent or guardian. You have the right to remain silent, not say anything at all. If there's something you want to say, please do not shout it out. Instead, I want you to move your hand back and forth like this. That'll get my attention. That'll also get your attorney's attention. I'll create a private internet chat room for the two of y'all to talk about what you want to say. That way, your attorney can advise you on whether or not you really should say it. Does that make sense, Mr. Reed?
Yes, sir.
All right. Is Ms. Hamrick here?
I emailed her and I left a message.
Okay. Mr. Berger, can you help out real quick?
Sure can.
All right. So, Ms. Washington, what brings Mr. Reed back to court?
Jalen just had an adjudication hearing on the 13th and he was ordered to placement by Your Honor. I did receive an email from the placement staff stating that he should be transported to Clarinda by the end of the week. They just received the court orders on Friday. Jalen is currently on level 3, I believe, confined.
Mr. Reed,
Yes,
what
sir.
happened?
People keep picking on me.
Walk away. Don't let them bring you down. You're better than that.
I walked away too many times and they stayed doing it.
Is Bradley not helping you out, keeping them away from you?
Brady don't even be back here for the time.
Okay, okay. Well, you ready to go to Iowa?
Yes, sir.
All right. If I let you go today, that would slow down Iowa, so it's probably not a good idea, right?
Yes, sir.
All right. I'm going to go ahead and order that you be detained. Thank you, Mr. Reed.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right. Whoa, okay. That has already been done. And then you, Mr. Rodriguez, you are not Mr. Rodriguez.
I'm Mrs. Rodriguez for Alex Rodriguez.
Okay, hold on just a second. Okay. Sir, what is your name?
Alex Rodriguez.
Oh, you are Mr. Rodriguez. Okay. And
Yes, sure.
Rodriguez family, if they want to come on up.
Me, mommy.
All right, Mr. Rodriguez, the law says when you're brought into detention and detained, you have to see a judge every 10 business days to determine if you should be released or be ordered to remain in detention. This is your 10-day detention hearing. My name is Judge Porter. You have the right to remain silent and not say anything at all. If there's something you want to say, please don't shout it out. Instead, I want you to move your hand back and forth like this. That'll get my attention. It'll also get your attorney's attention. Mr. Daniels, do you see Mr. Daniels on the screen?
Yes, sir.
All right, I'll create a private internet chat room for you and Mr. Daniels to talk about what you want to say. That way he can advise you on whether or not you really should say it. Does that make sense?
Yes, sir.
All right, Ms. Paxton is out today. Who's filling in for Ms. Paxton?
I am, Your Honor.
All right, Ms. Turner-Hill, what brings Mr. Rodriguez to court today?
This is a 10-day. He was referred in custody on August the 1st by Fort Worth PD for the offense of unlawfully carrying of a weapon. According to the police report, on August the 1st at approximately 10:14, officers working in the gang enforcement observed a silver Dodge Journey with temporary tag that failed to signal a change. They initiated a traffic stop. Upon making contact with the vehicle, officers could smell a small odor of marijuana coming from the vehicle. Alex was identified as a passenger as he was exiting the vehicle, and he was wearing a small red and black bag on his shoulder. The bag hit the side of the vehicle and made a heavy metallic sound. The officer grabbed the bag and confirmed that it contained a high .9mm handgun with extended magazine. They also searched the vehicle and located a bag of marijuana. He has one prior referral from 2016 that was supervisory caution. His drug test was positive for marijuana whenever he came in, and Alex is scheduled for an adjudication disposition hearing on August the 26th at 1:30 before your court, and he is currently on level 2 outstanding as of the 17th.
All right, Mr. Daniels, what are your thoughts?
Well, Your Honor, Alex would like to go home with his mother, and you know, if she's willing to have him home, he wants to be at home.
Mr. Rodriguez, we've talked before, haven't we?
I think I talked to Judge Kim.
Okay, well, what did Judge Kim tell you?
He told me to keep my level.
Uh-huh. What specifically did he tell you to do?
Keep it level 1.
Uh-huh. What level are you at?
2.
Man, if you were at level 1.0, I could let you go today. What's it going to take for you to get there?
A few more days.
All right. Level 2, I can't be convinced that you're going to follow the rules at home if I release you. But if you're at level 1.0, I've got a good reason to believe that you'll follow the rules at home, right?
Yes, sir.
So what I need you to do, get to level 1.0, right?
Yes, sir.
All right. You get to level 1.0 and keep it, and then Mr. Daniels can ask for a special set early detention hearing, and the court can consider your release before your adjudication disposition. But if it takes you until the 26th to get down to 1.0, you know, that's on you. You can do it though, right?
I should be 1-0 tomorrow.
All right. Mr. Daniels, I got to order that he be detained today. He's not at level 1.0 yet, all right?
Okay, thank you, Your Honor.
All right, thanks, y'all.
Am I excused, Your Honor?
Yes, sir. I appreciate your help. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I appreciate your help.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right. With that, we'll see if Judge Kim is ready.
Yeah, he was detained, right?
Yeah.
Yes, just go back to the hall and wait for Ms. Turner, how she's going to do that. Oh, the front line. Usually with the overtime flight. Okay, so there. Are you looking for the plan? No, I know where I'm supposed to be, I just didn't know, if there's to be the. Yeah, the field. Okay.
All right, so thank you. Sorry for the delay. Also a different proceeding.
I'm in the chair.
All right, so Olivia Arts. Ms. Arts, hi, I'm Judge Kim. This is a detention hearing. The law says when a child is brought to a facility, you have to see a judge within 2 days, and I have to make a decision whether to keep you in custody or to release you. If I keep you in custody, you have to see a judge every 10 days while you're here. You have the right to remain silent. You have the right to an attorney. If you or your family cannot afford an attorney, I'll provide one for you. All right, so Olivia, you are 15 years old. Apparently you've never been here before. All right, so Fort Worth PD brought you in Saturday. So there was a domestic. When they got there, you were being restrained by your sister. You were cuffed and escorted out. You said you were using the tablet to get on social media, even though you knew you were on punishment. So I guess you weren't supposed to use electronics. The mom got the tablet. You and your mom got into an argument. You started packing your belongings to run away. Mom tried to block you. Sisters stepped in. They say then you locked yourself in the bathroom, but they were unable to lock the door. Then you went to the kitchen, grabbed a knife, threatened to stab your mom and your sister. And the mother said you lunged at your sister with a knife, so you're arrested. See, diagnosed DMDD, ADHD, depression. Last appointment, so you just seen your doctor recently. Okay, all right, so is mom here?
Yes.
Okay, hello, Mom. Do you mind tilting that computer a little bit down? I can't see your face because it says parents' courtroom. All right, thank you. All right, so recently had her medication adjusted. How is that? How is she normally when she's on her medication?
Usually she does really good on her medicine. It's when Olivia is told no that we have these problems.
So accepting structure, accepting boundaries.
Yes.
And that's been kind of a consistent problem for a while?
Yes.
Okay, but other than those situations, she's a good kid. It's just the boundaries. Is that fair to say?
Right.
Okay, all right. Is she good about taking her medication?
Yes, I have gotten to where I watch her, and she usually that Friday night, she had pretended to take her medicine, and she had not actually taken it.
Oh, okay.
That's when, yeah.
Okay. All right. So Olivia, here's the deal. I'm going to let you know my stance on this. We just have boundaries. There are limitations. We all have rules. I've got rules. I've got rules not only with the law, but I've got rules at home with my wife. That's just part of life. I have rules with, well, shoot, I guess my boss, right? So I will let you know that my concern is whether you're just rejecting the rules, whether you can follow the rules or not, because we're kind of taking this to another level. Before with your mom, it was one of those, if you kind of resist or you kind of rebellious, having problems with your mom, it all stays at home and your mom figures out a way to deal with it. Now the police are involved and the court's involved, it's a different ballgame. So at this point, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and detain you. All right, I wanna see how your behavior level is. If you get to level 1-0, okay, then that makes me understand that you can follow the rules. It takes about 3 days to do that. You know what, because there's a knife involved, we'll do level 1-0 and then you gotta hold it for 3 days, okay, for 72 hours. If you can do that, you're showing me that not only can you understand the rules, but you can follow the rules. Then we'll give you a chance to go back home, right? And as long as you're following the rules at home, then you stay at home while this case is going on. If you break the rules at home, we find out and then we just bring you back here and we'll do it again. Mom, does this sound like a fair plan?
Yes.
Okay, so I need Olivia to prove to me that she can follow the rules, right? Now, trust me, the environment here at Kimbo is a lot more restrictive than your environment at home. So that means Olivia has proven she can do it. Then it becomes a question of, does she do it or not? Okay?
Yes.
Do you have any questions for me, Mom?
No, I agree.
Okay, Olivia, do you have any questions for me? Okay, so really you getting out of here is purely up to you. You've also got to take your medication, both here as well as when you go home. You can't fake it, you've got to take it. If you have a problem with the medication, then you need to go back to the doctor and adjust it. Okay, there's a right way to do it. You can't just make that decision on your own, okay? All right, so I don't want to see you here at the 10-day hearing, all right? You should be home, well, in theory, you should be home by next weekend, all right? Since you came here Saturday, you could be level 1 today, and then hold it for 3 days. You could be home Thursday or Friday, all right? But if you're fighting it and you're causing problems, you'll stay here for months. It's really just, it's up to you when you get out of here, okay? All right, thank you, Olivia. All right, so we're skipping Alexis Clark. We'll do her before the under 14s. How about Myron Collins? All right, Mr. Collins, I'm Judge Kim. Good to see you again. It's a 10-day hearing. I have to decide whether to keep you here or to release you. If I keep you here, you have to see a judge every 10 days. You have the right to remain silent, and you have a right to attorney, Ms. Keenan, I believe. Is that right?
Yes.
Attorney. Okay. Well, good to see you, Tracy.
Good to see you, Judge.
All right, so. All right, Mr. Collins. Okay, now we're approaching 120 days. You're level 2. Ms. Keenan, where are we going with this on this case? Do you know?
Today he has a yes waiver appointment. And if he is accepted into that program, that's been the recommendation by resource staffing. So we just need to see if we can get everybody on board, including the DA's office, to agree with that recommendation. We don't have a court date set up yet until we find out about this yes waiver. Did I say all that correctly, Janet?
Yes.
Okay.
All right, Mariam, I remember you from other cases in the past, all right? But you understand what's different about this one, right? This is where going to like a store and got a can of Pringles and then robbed the store, couldn't open this register, manager came by, he pointed the gun at the manager, and then police found you shortly after. So, look, my problem, and then you were found with a 9mm pistol. Myron, I've got a big problem with kids and guns, right? I have to be confident that if we release them, they're not going to reoffend, okay, and cause more problems. Part of the thing for you, though, Marion, is that you were actually out on a criminal trespass case and a failed to ID when you picked up this new case of the aggravated robbery, okay? And so I let you go thinking you weren't a danger, but then things got even worse, all right, with the robbery, alleged robbery. So now here's the thing. So my knee-jerk reaction when kids have guns or weapons is to hold them here Until I'm confident that they can behave, I can let them out, and there's not a problem. Now, the problem with you, though, is you're level 2. You're not level 1. Okay? And I understand there's some behavioral problems that you can't control, but I know that our level behavior system here is one that's designed that if you can't follow these rules, then you can't get to level 1. Even if you have deep-rooted behavioral problems, that doesn't change the fact that you can't be level 1 on the outside, right? So if you're having problems here and that you are also willing to use a gun and that you have access to guns in the community. Okay, so I'm not comfortable releasing you. Hopefully we get this case resolved through your attorney and we can get you to the yes waiver program, move on. But right now, my detention decision is simply about if I release you, are you a danger to yourself or to others? And I feel like if you're level 2 here and you have access to guns and you're willing to use them in committing a crime, then I think you're a danger to the community as well as yourself, okay? So at this point, I'm still detaining you, right? I hope you understand why. I'm taking a little bit extra time to explain to you, Marion, because we've met before. I've always enjoyed your presence, right? I like you, but I just want you, but I respect you. I want you to understand why I'm making this decision, okay?
All right.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Collins. Thank you, Ms. Keenan. Please let me know. I do want this child out of here, but on detention hearing that philosophy, I'm kind of stuck.
I understand, Your Honor.
All right, thank you.
We'll keep you posted. May I be excused?
Yes, have a wonderful day.
Thank you. You too.
All right. Liberty Henry.
Your Honor, we're having to get Liberty up. One moment, please. Just 2 minutes, please. About a minute, please.
Can we just skip her then and go on to the next one while you're getting her ready?
Thank you so much.
Thank you. How about Damian Lopez? Mr. Green here. There we go. All right, Mr. Lopez. I'm Judge Kim. This is a detention hearing. My decision is whether to keep you here to release you. If I keep you here, you have to see it. Can you hear me, Mr. Lopez?
I'm talking about Kim. All right, now I can see you.
Okay.
I can hear you, and now I can see you now.
Okay, good. All right, so this is a detention hearing. My purpose here at this hearing is to decide whether to release you or to keep you here. If I keep you here, the law says you have to see a judge every 10 days while you're here. You have the right to remain silent. You have the right to an attorney. If you or your family cannot afford an attorney, I'll provide one for you. All right, so Mr. Green, you requested this detention hearing.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, for what purpose?
Your Honor, this child is, according to the detention report, on level 1 now, has maintained that, not causing any trouble in the back. I spoke to his probation officer Friday. So I think he'd be a good candidate to be released from detention at this time.
Okay. So he's level 1-0. He's been here for about 3 weeks. July 26th and 27th Street, there's a 911 call. So there were people shooting at her. When they got there, police saw 2 Hispanic males, told them to stop. Both ran. Foot chase. 2 responding officers pursued the 2 people. The gun was reportedly tossed during one of the chases. So during the foot pursuit, they overheard 3 consecutive gunshots, 1 block from their location. Officers located Damon walking on Azle Avenue. Due to his proximity, they held him at gunpoint until another officer arrived. Asked if he had any weapons, he said he had his brother's gun in his waistband. When searched, he had a silver .38 between 2 sets of shorts. Had 3 spent shell casings in the barrel. The gun was reported stolen out of a burglary of a motor vehicle. He was arrested for evading arrest, UCW, and discharge of a firearm. After the arrest, police referred a related charge of ag assault, the deadly weapon. He was positive for marijuana and benzodiazepines. All right, so can I get more information on the ag assault deadly weapon, Mr. Lewis?
The police report that's been received so far simply indicates that it's in reference to the original 911 caller stating she was being shot at while calling police to report the theft of her EBT card. There's not a great deal of detail beyond that.
But we accepted the case at detention?
It was referred out of custody after the first 3 charges. It has been referred to the DA's office. The 3 charges he was originally referred on have been filed, but the aggravated assault is still pending with the prosecutors.
All right, so, I mean, I'm just kind of looking, how does she identify him as the person shooting her, at her?
Police report is not clear on that, on any specific identification of Damien, at least the one I've received.
Yeah, Mr. Green, here's my deal. I mean, ag assault, I don't know. The problem is he's running around with a stolen gun. And well, Mr. Lewis, did they identify him as one of the ones running from the police, or they just because he was in the area?
My understanding that he and the companion he was arrested with were identified as, well, as being in the area and running from police when police arrived.
Yeah, so Mr. Green, I mean, I don't think I can find PC at this point for the ag assault. Maybe not even enough for the evading, but there is, I think, or the discharge, but I think there's enough for the UCW. Here's a problem. Then I don't need the PC finding for anything else. It's just a determination whether the information provided to the court indicates that he's a danger to himself or to others. The fact that he's smoking weed, using benzos, carrying a stolen gun, I think it's just way too much of a danger to release in the community at this point. The fact that there's other cases that could be coming down the pipe, I mean, I appreciate these level 1, but he just got there. Mr. Lewis, did he have other problems? How low did his behavior level go?
Since he's been in detention, he has typically maintained level 1 acceptable. He doesn't have any major infractions. All of his documented issues are not following instructions or talking without permission, slow to comply, minor things that have cost him level 1 outstanding, but he has consistently maintained level 1 acceptable.
Right. Okay. I mean, that's good to hear. I think, yeah, Mr. Green, the gun really worries me. That's the part that gives me the most pause. I just have to be really, really comfortable releasing somebody. Knowing that there's the ag assault deadly weapon case coming down the pipe, that gives me pause. I mean, that doesn't seal it, but it just makes me tap the brakes a little bit more. Damien, keep up the behavior level. Let's go and review this in the future, but I'm deeply concerned, right? Especially with stolen guns came out of a stolen car and the surrounding gunshots being fired. I have a duty to protect the community. All right. Thank you, Mr. Lopez.
Thank you, Jeff.
All right, is Liberty Henry available? All right, Ms. Henry, I'm Judge Kim. This is a detention hearing. I need to decide whether to release you or keep you in custody. If I keep you in custody, the law says you have to see a judge every 10 days while you're here. You do have a right to remain silent. You have a right to an attorney. If you cannot afford an attorney, I'll provide one for you. All right, Liberty, you're 14. You have never had history with this department. Let's see. On Friday, police were dispatched to the airport. For the report, they were dispatched for an assault in progress. There was witnesses. Liberty and her mother and sister were asked to leave the plane due to Liberty refusing to put on a mask. And the victim said that she was verifying missing passenger seats when she asked Liberty for ID. Liberty said she was a minor. Then the victim asked for her boarding pass to match to the names on the list. Then Liberty started cussing at her, being disruptive, and they asked Liberty to be removed from the plane. Liberty and her family had left the plane, were on the jet bridge as Liberty continued to insult the staff when she realized her phone's on the plane. She was told the door was closed. Then she walked up to the victim, pulled her hair, causing her wig to come off, scratched in the face. And the victim said that she lost consciousness and fell to the ground. There was a scratch of bleeding consistent. It was determined that the victim was unconscious for about 3 minutes. Liberty took off running when she fell to the floor, but the police arrested her. So Liberty history with juvenile courts in California. Mom says she's special needs diagnosed, bipolar, mood disorder, and does not have her meds. So is mom here? Do we have a parent present?
No, Your Honor, there's not one in person.
I'm here.
Okay, do you have a video? Porter? Ms. Porter, do you have a video feed?
Yes, I do.
Okay, could you move to a place where I can see your face? Ideally without a bright light in the background.
Yeah.
Ms. Porter, can
Yes, I'm here.
you turn the camera on, please? Thank you. Could you turn the camera on, please? Thank you. All right, so Ms. Porter, are you currently in California?
Yes, I am.
Okay. Why didn't she have her medication here in Texas?
She ran out when we was in Florida. We went to Walt Disney World, and I came back home, and we had a layover in Texas.
That didn't answer my question. Why didn't she have her medication with her here in Texas?
She ran out.
Okay. How long was this vacation for?
Just for 1 week.
All right. Did you not bring enough medication for the whole trip?
I didn't. I'm sorry.
Did you not bring enough medication for the whole trip?
I did not. I'm sorry.
Okay. So how is she when she's on her medication?
Liberty is fine when she's on her meds. It's when she's off her meds we have an issue.
Okay. Did you get her, Mr. Dawson, do we have her prescriptions?
No, Your Honor, we do not have her prescriptions.
Mom, can you get us her prescriptions? Ms. Porter?
Yes, Liberty's on the Abilify and Lexapro.
No, you can't just tell us. We need the prescriptions. Can you take pictures of the prescription bottles and get them to Mr. Dotson?
Yes, I can.
Does she have any relatives here in the DFW area?
Sir, we know nobody out there.
Well, Ms. Porter, here's part of my problem, okay? The law allows me to release children to their parents, but I have to ensure their return to court. And I'm not sure how that's going to work with you living in San Bernardino, California.
If Liberty's released to me, I will make sure that she comes to court if it's another court day.
So it's about once a month that she would have to come back here. You can come back once a month?
Yes, we can.
Now, you understand the way the law in Texas works is that you have to sign a piece of paper stating that if she does not appear to court, you understand the court can issue a warrant for your arrest.
I'm aware now.
Okay, is that still a responsibility you're willing to take?
Yes.
And when's the last time she saw a doctor?
Right now, all the facilities are closed, but Liberty has therapeutic sessions over the phone.
Okay. So when's the last time she got her prescription updated?
Last month.
Last month. When? Do you remember the date? Can I see that one back?
No, offhand, I don't.
Judge, could I intervene here for a minute?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Could I ask Mr. Dotson a couple of questions?
Sure.
Mr. Dotson, who made the arrest in this case?
DFW police.
Was she actually in the terminal or was she on the plane?
She was on the plane. She left the plane and she was on the jet bridge when the incident occurred. She was trying to get to the Skylink when they apprehended her. She was running.
Okay. Okay. Is she on any kind of probation out of California?
I'm trying to confirm that. I have a probation officer that is assigned to her. Mom says she's had an incident in 2019. She's not aware of any current probation. I left 2 messages with Mr. Montalvo with the San Bernardino Police Probation Department. I'm waiting for return phone calls to confirm the actual probation times and periods.
Okay. Do you have any information about who the injured party might be?
It was one of the flight attendants. She was taken to the hospital. She had scratches. She was unconscious. She seemed to be doing better right now.
Okay. Okay. I'm just trying to get a jurisdiction understanding, Judge.
Can I speak, please, after you?
So, Mr. Berger, it'd be a concurrent jurisdictional issue. So, I mean, there's disrupting the airplane.
Right. I'm trying to figure out if this is a federal situation.
I think it's a concurrent issue. It could be either or. I think there's acts, the assault would just be state, but disrupting the flight crew would be federal. Right. So
they usually have to waive jurisdiction.
No, they can wait. They can sit back and pounce later on. They have that discretion.
I think they have.
Ms. Porter, you want to say something? Ms. Porter, you want to say something?
Yes, the only issue I'm having is it wouldn't be an issue if the flight attendant would address me instead of addressing my 14-year-old daughter. That was so unprofessional. And they had a whole screaming match with my kid.
Ma'am, Ms. Porter, the worst thing you can do right now is justify your daughter's actions. That's the absolute worst thing you can do, right? Do not shift blame. Your daughter evidently, according to the witnesses, the one that actually struck the flight attendant, right? If your daughter is not the kind of person that can be in the community without striking people, if they talk to her directly, then you're basically telling me I need to keep her here. Don't enable your daughter.
Sir, I'm not trying to enable her. I was just trying to explain the situation.
No, when you're saying the problem is that they talk to the daughter instead of you. If you can't take your daughter in public, don't take her in public, right? It's really that simple. Don't justify her actions saying the flight attendant screwed up. We all have the right to live our lives without being beat up by 14-year-old girls.
You're right.
So, Mom, this is what I'm going to do. If you're willing to take that responsibility, you understand that if you fail to bring her back to court, that you could be looking at a warrant being issued for you and you having to be extradited to Texas. That is a responsibility you're willing to take?
Yes.
Okay. And I'm going to go ahead. I'm sorry, give that back. Still the wrong one. So I'm going to go ahead and release her to you. All right. So make arrangements with Mr. Dotson to come and pick her up. And we'll have to come back for these court settings. If you'll probably also want to fill out, Mr. Dotson, if you can email her the paperwork for requesting court-appointed counsel. It turns out you're not indigent, then you'll have to hire an attorney, a Texas attorney. All right. So Mr. Dotson can give you a list of all the attorneys that do practice here in the Tarrant County courts. Okay. All right. Thank you, Ms. Porter.
Thank you, sir.
Marvin Velador.
Yeah. Right here.
Situation in life, I think it worse.
No, right here.
All right, Mr. Velador, do we have a parent here?
Yes, sir. That's Mom.
Thank you. All right, Mr. Velador, I'm Judge Kim. This is a detention hearing. The law says when a child is brought to a facility, you have to see a judge within 2 days and have to make a decision whether to keep you here or to release you. If I keep you here, you have to see a judge every 10 days while you're here. You have the right to remain silent. You have the right to an attorney. If you or your family cannot afford an attorney, I'll provide one for you. All right, so Mr. Velador, so you're 16 years old. You have no history in the department. See, around on yesterday about 4:50, police were dispatched to the Academy off North Tarrant. Then the victim, he said he was going to sell some shoes. Victim walked to Marvin's vehicle, a white GMC Sierra. Marvin looked at the shoes, placed them on his truck before going to get money from the driver's side when he pulled out a dirty silver handgun with a black grip. Marvin pointed at the victim and drove off. Officers found the address matching the license plate. Talked to Marvin's mom, who said her son was one in possession of her truck. Then Marvin's mom then pinged Marvin's location on Stanley Keller Road, which allowed them to find him. Did a felony stop. Marvin was the only person in the car. They searched the vehicle, unable to find the shoes and gun, but found a black ball cap, which the victim stated Marvin was wearing. Marvin refused to talk to the detectives, so he was brought here.
Judge, there was a supplement report uploaded within the last hour, and it says that officers did speak with the manager at Academy asking for a video. They were unable to get a copy, but the manager is going to submit a copy of the video to the detectives.
Okay.
And Judge, if I may.
Yes.
I just got retained about an hour ago, so that's why I'm here.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. What is your name?
Rebecca Tejada.
Okay. Did you get a letter into the court?
I haven't yet. My office is working on that.
Not a problem. Thank you. All right, Marvin. So I'm gonna let you know, for me, my biggest hang up with juvenile cases is when there's a firearm used. And so I just have a big problem with kids with guns, all right, that are unsupervised. At this point, I have to find this probable cause. It does, from what it looks like right now, it doesn't look like the strongest case, but it's enough to establish probable cause that you committed this aggravated robbery. Okay, so I'm gonna go and detain you at this point. We'll go ahead and see what your behaviorist levels are like in the future. We'll see what the case is like. Certainly your attorney's here. The district attorney has been watching this hearing as well. Hopefully they can work this out. All right? Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Señora Velador, sí lo detenió el juez, si me espera allá enfrente.
All right. All right, Mr. Wright, I'm Judge Kim. This is a detention hearing. You've been here for 10 days, so I have to review your case, decide whether to keep you here or to release you. If I keep you here, you have to see a judge every 10 days. While you're here, you have the right to an attorney. All right, so Mr. Wright, this is the one where, let's see. Fort Worth PD, this is in June. Respond to a call, shots fired. UPS driver was making a delivery and a bullet came through his truck. Witness said 3 black males, BMW, front passenger, started shooting at the complex. The car was found later and was stolen. Jamal had evidence pointed to Jamal. He posted photos on Instagram, posing in and on the car with guns. Verified gang member, they think is part of a gang war between Crips and Bloods. So, all right, and you're currently on probation. You're behind $250 on restitution from that case, and you're level 3 unacceptable. So if you can't behave here, you're not going to behave outside. I'm going to detain you. Thank you, Mr. Wright.
Thank you, Judge.
All right. So at this point, these proceedings have been broadcast on YouTube in order to comply with the Open Courts Act. However, since the court is allowed, when a child is under 14, to close proceedings to the public